Dear audience, welcome to the show POWERchat. In today's episode, we'll be discussing on contribution of social work education in Nepal's development process. Joining us today is Dr. Bala Raju Nikku, senior lecturer at University Sains Malaysia, also a noted researcher who contributed with his research insights in Nepal for last 1.5 decades. Please allow me to welcome him. Welcome to the show, Dr. Nikku.
Thank you, Mr. Pant. It's a pleasure to be invited to TV today, POWERchat, and it's my honor to be with you, sharing the dais with.
How have you been? You are here in Nepal for last 1.5 decade, contributing from different platforms to promote social work education.
Yeah, thank you. It's a little personal question, but then my time in Nepal, as you mentioned, the last 1.5 decade has been very exciting, very helpful, very professionally, I must say, fulfilling, and also have learnt a lot from Nepal and Nepal's higher education, especially the Nepalese social work, which I am associated with. So it's been an extremely.
Nikku, I'll come back to you on Nepal social work education. How can one understand social work?
Very interesting question, I think. How can one understand social work? Yeah, social work has been as a profession in many countries, especially in the US and UK. Countries like Nepal, India, Bangladesh, many other countries in South Asia are struggling to strengthen this profession. So social work is a profession that helps people to help themselves. Social work is a profession that empowers people. Social work is a profession that helps bringing societal change. I can give you a lot of definitions, but in a normal way that we can understand social work as a profession that helps communities, that helps families, that helps societies to help themselves. So in that sense, social work is not just charity, social work is not just welfare, but social work is a profession that follows values, that follows ethics, that follows professional standards. So this is where I think there is a little difficult for common people to understand, because common people understand social work in a different sense. Like politics is social work, doing some charity is social work. But if you look at a professional definition, social work is a profession that has standards, values, ethics, and principles and methods.
Well, Dr. Nikku, could you also tell us your experience, your assessment about social work education in Nepal? It's already been about 2 decades that Nepal's universities have started this course at the undergraduate and master's levels. How do you assess overall social work education?
That's
in
a
Nepal?
Big question again, Mr. Pant.
With reference to your definitions, you
I
just
agree.
explained to us.
Thank you. Thank you for asking this. I remember your own article, the article that you have written, I think in Raising Nepal in 2005, social work in doldrums. You interviewed me at that time. That's what I said. It's a pleasure to come back to you after 10 years. Social work in Nepal, I must say that progressing in quantity. In 1996, there is only one college under Kathmandu University offering social work. There are about 25 to 30 students who are able to graduate. But now, social work is being offered in 3-4 universities. Purvanchali University, Kathmandu University, Tribhuvan University, one of the oldest university, and also Far Western University, I was told. So social work has grown in terms of numbers, the quantity. But what you also asked me, what's happening in social work? So as a student of social work, as an academic in social work, as a founding member of Nepal School of Social Work, I've been seeing the development of social work very closely. So as a student of social work, I can tell you the quantity is not enough. I think this is where the opportunities and challenges comes in Nepalese social work scene. So to tell you directly, there are a lot of challenges in curriculum development. There are a lot of issues with the human resources that are available to teach social work, to innovate social work teaching in colleges basically. And how do we involve human resources, the trained social workers, back in a development sector of Nepal, especially the post-disaster context, especially the post-conflict situation that is in Nepal. So Nepal as a country offers a beautiful and exciting opportunity for social work as a profession to grow. But at the same time, the profession itself needs some help in Nepal to strengthen itself, to seek legitimacy from the state, from the society, that it is a profession which is equivalent to like any other profession like medicine, engineering, law. So social work in Nepal is struggling. It is making one step forward, but at the same time it's going, you know, two steps backward, because there is no support from the state, from the universities, from the international organizations, I must say. So there's a lot of work to be done in Nepal.
What can be done so that the investment through universities and academic institutions be best utilized?
What can be done? Again, you're asking a very difficult question, but as a journalist and as an academician in Nepal, I think higher education itself is an issue. Yeah, if you talk about higher education, there's a lot of things have been published. For example, if you look at 1950s, there are only 2 colleges in Nepal that were affiliated to India. Look at now, after 60 years, 2016, there are 5 universities, 600 colleges, maybe more. There are a lot of private colleges. Number of students have increased. There are a lot of masters programs have come. Maybe PhDs have not yet come. But again, I'm going back to my own original statement. The quantity has been achieved. It is important in Nepal. But then, what about quality? What about relevance? So this is where I think social work colleges, whoever is offering this education under KU, under PU, under TU, I want to request them to look at what kind of students are they graduating, what kind of academic training, what kind of academic nurturing, what kind of academic skills do they the students do they have. If without proper skills, there is no social work. You cannot produce social work with a mediocre skills. If you produce social workers without appropriate skills, then you will be doing more harm than help. So this is a very, very great challenge for Nepal, given the lack of resources, lack of monitoring, lack of professional body, lack of I can go on like this. But I see in last 60 years there's a lot of investment came in, especially private. I think government is slowly taking interest. UGC is showing some interest. These are all positive. I mean, this is where TV Today brought us together. I see media is interested in social work.
Dr. Nikku, you're also teaching at University Sains Malaysia, same subject, social work, for last 4 or 5 years. Where is Nepal in terms of the course and its delivery when you compare Nepal with the universities in Asia or in Southeast Asia?
Okay, thank you. Again, you are taking me a broader canvas. My understanding in last 20 years involved in social work education profession in Asia tells me that in Nepal last 20 years made a good beginning. That's not enough, because in India social work started in 1936. In USM, the University Sains Malaysia, it started in 1974. National University of Singapore started in way back in 1950s. Thammasat University in Bangkok, again it started in 1950s. So in Asia, social work started in 1936. So Nepal has started its professional social work 60 years later. So that itself, there is a huge time lag. At the same time, I think the second challenge is all about how Nepalese universities promoting social work, and what kind of resources are they allocating. I think TU is leading now because they also have a bachelor's program now. They're thinking making it to a 4 years and a semester system. In PU and QU, you already have a semester system. That in that sense, Nepalese social work curriculum, I think, is comparable with other countries like India or in Bangladesh or even Pakistan. But then again, I'm coming back, what kind of research that we do here under social work. Social work research is a method. Social work has about 6 primary methods: how to work with individuals, casework; how to work with groups, small groups, group work; how to work with communities, community organization; and how do you work with bureaucracy, administration, the state, social administration, and social work research and social work action. So social work research is a main method, very powerful method of social work. But I wonder, what kind of social work research do we teach in social work schools and colleges in Nepal? So again, there's a lot of need and support required. We need PhDs in social work to teach in social work colleges in Nepal. There is a large, I think, gap in this. And once we do research, for what? Again, is it will be lying in the libraries, or do we really use social work research for policy advocacy and and make changes in the government, the way it functions? For example, adoptions in Nepal, it's a big issue, right? So what kind of social work research has gone into this? disasters. Yeah, what happened in the 2 years of Nepalese disasters? What kind of social work research has gone into that? What are the results?
Well, Dr. Nikku, but there is criticism that universities are advertising courses to attract students towards their educational institutions, but they are not provided with the community engagement type of education, resulting to a poor performance by the students themselves. How can students engage in the community learning environment so that they can contribute from whatsoever form, be it humanitarian support or as you were mentioning about the disaster?
Mr. Pant, I think you are asking me about the quality. You are asking me whether social work really engages with the community, especially the post-disaster, the post-conflict Nepal, whether social work is able to really provide enough skills. I think you're asking me a lot of questions in one big question. My answer is yes, to some extent. Yeah, we produce maybe about 150 students, all these 4 universities together at the bachelor's level. Yeah, each university has 1 or 2 affiliated colleges. So maybe about 200 BSW students. Yeah, sorry. When I say BSW, it's Bachelor's in Social Work. I think this comes from Purvanchal University and Kathmandu University. I think Tribhuvan University has a BA in Arts, Social Work as a major. As you said, many colleges are offering this as a BSW degree, which is not a BSW degree. I think it's a BA in Arts, Social Work as a major. So there are differences. There are differences in the quality, in the content, and in the fieldwork focus of these 3 universities. So it's a good thing in a way. But then I'm not sure why some colleges are selling this as a BSW. I'm not sure. I think the media has to take this up, but I think Tribhuvan University will take it up later, and then they come up with a BSW 4 years program. That's what I was told. So that's the quality issues. Then you asked me engagement. I think this is the core of social work. I think without engagement, there's no social work. The core, the heart of social work is engaging people. How do you engage people? How do you engage families? How do you engage state actors? How do you engage media? How do you engage the policy, the politicians? So that is, again, I think there's a lot more work to be done in the case of Nepal, because that requires the structural social work, emancipatory social work, radical social work methods. But social work, I think there's a lot of examples in Nepal. There's a lot of examples here in Maoist movement. You name any social movements, Janjati movement, women's movement, human. I mean, Nepal offers a lot of field base. There are a lot of things that we can teach from Nepal in social work classrooms. But my question is whether it is happening. I'm not sure. So this is where there's a lot of teacher training, there's a lot of faculty development, there are a lot of pedagogical innovations in social work is required, and these kind of things are happening abroad. Some good universities like George Warren Brown School, National University of Singapore, maybe Tata Institute of Social Sciences, University Sains Malaysia. So I request all these organizations, universities abroad, may partner with Nepalese colleges, Nepalese universities to strengthen social work, so that Nepalese social work can also be strengthened. At the same time, the universities abroad also can learn the beautiful, the interesting, the things that are happening in Nepal last 50 years also can be taught in their courses. As a result, everyone will be benefited. So the engagement, I think there's a lot of scope, but not enough work is being done.
Well, there is also criticism about the human resources. You are also explaining about something. There is shortage of human resources, and sometimes here in Nepal, the 2 subjects, social work and sociology, are understood the same way, and there are human resources found to be teaching this subject coming from sociology background. Who should teach social work?
Who should teach social work? Am I right person to answer this? Yeah, I will try this. Social work is known as an applied sociology in some places, yeah. And social work is an interdisciplinary profession, interdisciplinary education. It requires psychology, political science, ecology, climate change, you name anything, and social workers need to understand. Because
my question is on when it comes to the core social work subjects within this discipline.
Within this discipline, Nepal. Yes, I think there's an issue here. I mean, see, you don't have a PhD program in social work in Nepal. To produce PhDs, in social work who can then become academics and go to classrooms and teach. Okay, you don't have an MPhil program. You have only one MSW program in Tribhuvan University producing few MSW students, and they don't have research opportunities. So the teachers that you have now in Nepal, teaching in all these colleges are from different disciplines, and they're trying their level best, I'm sure, but they lack a professional training background in social work. Some of them, they went to India, abroad, got MSWs, and they came back. Good. But then I think about 90% of the staff who are involved in social work teaching are from non-social work teaching. That's because we don't have research opportunities, we don't have PhD opportunities in Nepal. So it's a chicken and egg kind of vicious cycle here. This is where the universities and the UGC has to look into this issue and invest developing social work teachers for Nepal.
Well, you are also engaged in different international organizations, especially that of the institution promoting social work. You are engaged with the International Association of Schools of Social Work and other so many organizations. What is the role of such organizations promoting social work education globally?
Yeah, these are global organizations. As you mentioned, International Association of Schools of Social Work is a global organization founded in 1928, having institutional members all over the world. The idea of this organization is to bring standards in social work education, and they have a document called Global Standards approved, and they also work on global social work definitions. ISW spends a lot of energy and time on capacity development of lecturers, academics involved in social work. It also spends a lot of time on constructing research ethics and values. So as a global organization, ISW has a mandate to promote social work education globally. It also did something in Nepal, but it's not enough, I guess, because we have not many institutional members from Nepal. I think there are only 1 or 2 colleges. Basically, a Nepal school is one of the member which I have represented. So global organizations like any other UN organizations in Nepal has a mandate across the globe. But then I think they should give priority countries like Nepal, especially the post-transition, post-conflict, post-disaster, resource-poor countries like Nepal. I'm sure ISW will spend some time and energy if there is enough demand and enough request from Nepal to get some help. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Nikku, could you tell us about the research culture? Universities are meant to promote research cultures. Is there text or evidence-based research available in terms of promoting social work education here in Nepal, especially in Nepal?
As I said, social work research is one of the methods of social work. There's a lot of research work is being done at the bachelor's level and the master's level. But as I said again, what kind of research, how do we use these research results, what kind of methods are we using, and who is training this research. So in general, as you know, the research capacity in Nepal is at a question mark. It's developing, there's no doubt about it. So there's a lot to be done in social work research in Nepal. And you also asked me, how do we go ahead with this? I think there are 3 things: the quantity, the quality, and the relevance. Nepal has achieved the quantity. There's so many colleges that are interested in offering social work education. They are providing some kind of social work education. The quantity is there. There are 3-4 universities now interested in offering courses. But now the second question is the quality. When we talking about quality, I'm not talking about the budget, private colleges where they just provide a small education, just enough to get a certificate. I think I'm not talking about that. The quality in terms of teaching, the quality in terms of skills, the quality in terms of the applied, how do we apply social work knowledge in the development of Nepal, in the development of Nepalese society, in the development of resilience, because that's another word which is very important in the post-disaster context. So there's a lot of work to be done. And what kind of relevance? Our social work students, do they relevant in only Nepal, or do they relevant in South Asia, or can they also go and work for UN in Africa, in Latin America, in US and UK? So the relevance has another important question. If the UGC and the other universities in Nepal look at the quantity, the quality and the relevance, I think we have answers before us.
What is the relevance of social work education in terms of Nepal again?
As I said,
Where should our products from the universities go on completion of their degrees?
Yes, they should go everywhere. They should go to communities, start working with them. Meaning, recently you have had the municipal elections and the local elections. There's a lot of work to be done with the local bodies. Our social workers can go and work with the UN. Our social workers can go and work with the bureaucracy. I mean the Seva Ayog. What you call the all government line ministries. Social workers can go and work with consultancy and research organizations. Social workers can work with the schools. Social workers can work in the health. Social workers can work with media. So there are ample of opportunities in Nepal for social workers to be involved. As of now, I think many of the social work graduates are only targeting the INGOs and NGOs, but I request them to open up, request them to explore other avenues like research and consultancy, like political social work, like advocacy and media. There are a lot other things available in Nepal. They can actually go abroad and do international social work with migration, works with human trafficking, which requires crossing the borders. So there's a lot of work to be done in Nepal, and there are a lot of opportunities.
What is your assessment on the collaboration that our universities here are doing?
Very interesting.
What do you
question.
suggest them to engage
Thank
with?
you so much for bringing this question. To my knowledge, collaboration is the key word, partnership is the key word, but our universities, I think, are not doing enough. I must say this, because a lot of universities abroad are waiting to collaborate with Nepalese colleges. In that sense, some colleges are fortunate, maybe St. Xavier's have a lot of collaborative opportunities, but I haven't seen any. Nepal School of Social Work did some work. I mean, I don't need to take the names, but as I said, collaboration with international partners is a key to ensure the quality and also make our graduates relevant for 21st century. So there is much work to be done in terms of collaboration. Our universities are not doing much. They're not doing enough.
Could you also tell us why international communities or international organizations should collaborate with academic institutions providing social work education?
Education brings knowledge, and knowledge brings power, empowering. So the whole idea of development is empowering people so that they can make their own choices. I think Nepal's development history, I think if you look at last 50 years, known as donor driven, donor dependent. I don't want to see a Nepal social work in the same line. So the international organizations should partner with Nepalese organizations in an equal term basis. It's not I give and you work, but we learn from each other. So international organizations, if they really want to strengthen Nepalese social work, I think there is always a give and take. It's a mutual partnership. It's not that you come with your models and you implement those models here. No, it doesn't work. And we have seen many examples all over the world. Importing Western models will not work. So in Nepal, they have their indigenous models. So international organizations, international social work colleagues, I think recognize this already. They don't want to bring models here, but at the same time, Nepalese colleagues also should go out and look forward and work with international partners to create social work knowledge base that is relevant for Nepal and also South Asia and maybe Asia.
How do you assess the performance of academic institutions here, especially in the areas of national and international collaborations?
I think Nepal has, last 15 years, I think there are a lot of higher education reforms and higher education initiatives that are happening that also influences social work education and social work education colleges. The collaboration
often students criticize that they do not find way to engage themselves in the community or in the exchanges or in collaboration with national or international organizations.
I agree, because the collaboration, though it looks very easy, but it's very difficult to achieve, especially equal collaboration, a mutual partnership. The people from abroad can come here and volunteer and go. Yeah, we call development tourism, or we can also call it a volunteerism with science. So it can be work both ways. But Nepalese students going abroad needs resources. Nepalese students to collaborate with international organizations needs a lot of self reading, self hard work. You have all the technology. You have a lot of information at your fingertips. You can go on the website and find out organizations with whom you can work. I don't see that also either. Very few students are very active and they actually know what they want to do. So many social work students, I guess, are very passionate, but they lack hardworking and vision and then clarity. So I also would like to request social work students to take opportunities, take time to read, spend in libraries, talk to people, access the literature, and open up, widen up, and then see where do they stand, what they want to become, what kind of help they want, and to achieve that help, to seek that help, who are the right organizations, who are the right people, and the help is there. And I can tell you myself, my work in Nepal took me to Malaysia. Maybe from Malaysia I go somewhere else. So there are opportunities in Nepal, in South Asia, in Asia, but it comes down to hard work and a little bit of commitment, a little bit of time planning.
Well, we are coming to the end of the show. Do you have anything to say with our audience?
First of all, I want to thank you for bringing me to this show. I want to thank the TV, Development TV, the business development. I think this is great. I want to tell my social work colleagues in Nepal, I want to tell my social work students that there are opportunities in the media. So collaborate with media, collaborate with the government, collaborate with the UN, and they will help you to strengthen this profession in Nepal. And one day, very soon, social work will become a profession, as a very legitimate profession, and you will prove that you are needed for the society. When you prove you are needed, people will recognize you.
Well, Dr. Nikku, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Dear audience, time now to wrap up the show. Keep watching us. See you next week. Namaste.